Welcome to Eccleston Piano Teacher. This short tutorial is looking at music theory. And I'm going to start with thinking about a two-count note, the minim. Now if we put a dot after it, like this, many beginners are very comfortable by thinking that is a three-count note. And they tend to think that dot is always making it longer by one. No. So if we have a semi-breve here, we put a dot after that. Does that last for 5 counts? 4 and 1? It doesn't last for 5, and this video is going to explain why. So what is happening with dotted notes is that they extend the original, the basic note, by 50%. That's always for, say, a semi-breve, a whole note, which is 4 counts in this case, or whether it's a quarter note, it's always 50%. So if we consider the dotted semi-breve, which is 4 counts, you extend it by half. Half of 4 is 2, so 4 plus 2 is 6. So it's not extended by 1 count, it's extended by 2, and thus the dotted semi-breve is 6 counts. We don't encounter the dotted semi-breve very often, but it will occur in particular older music, Baroque music and Renaissance music. So let's now consider the crotchet, which of course is also known as the quarter note. So let's assume that the crotchet, the quarter note, is 1 count. It's not always 1 count, but just for now let's assume it is. So on its own without the dot it gets 1 count. Half of 1, because we're thinking 50% of the original note, half of 1 is a half. So a dotted crotchet lasts for 1.5 counts, assuming that the crotchet is a 1 count note. Another way of thinking about this, if this may help visually, there's the dotted crotchet, and of course the crotchet on its own is equal to the length of 2 quavers, also known as eighth notes. So half of 1 crotchet is a quaver, which I've represented there. So you can see that the dotted crotchet is equal in length to 3 quavers, 3 eighth notes. One final point is to do with double dotted notes. Yes, I kid you not, and apparently you will come across triple dotted notes, although it's a long time since as a music teacher or as a performer I've ever seen them. But let's consider the double dotted note. Now the second dot will take 25% of the basic note which the dots are coming in front of. So for example, let's consider the dotted semi-breve, so that's 4 plus 2, remember the dot takes half of that. Okay, so the dotted semi-breve is 6 counts. So a second dot would take 25% of the basic note, which in this case is the semi-breve. So 25% of 4 is 1. So the dotted semi-breve would be 6 plus 1, which equals 7.